different types of radio. How do you see radio today, and where can students think about positioning themselves to start their journey?
If you want to decide you want to start on campus radio, you want to start on commercial, but sometimes it's not about where you want to start. Sometimes it's about you want to start now. This creative space, the best thing to do. And actually even outside of this creative space, it's to intern. Interning means I get my 1 foot in the door. So what you gotta do is come in and bring value. To the station manager, a lot of the times, because they're always getting asked for a job, they're going to say no. The programs manager, because they're always asked for a job and they've got a lot of demo tapes to deal with, they probably might even not listen to your demo tape or see your email once you're in. It's also not about the bag, guys. The bag will come later, but you have to be willing to give off yourself, serve, be reliable, be punctual, be that guy who lives, walks, speaks, thinks, dreams, radio. As much as a lot of people would say radio was dying, the internet is coming. The internet is here, radio is even bigger. And we are also living in the African continent, where a lot of people are still gonna take time for them to get internet penetration. So because of that, radio still remains the biggest medium. And it remains that biggest medium that makes people feel like they know the person on the other end. Nowadays, radio's got cameras, radio's got social media, which is the internet, which is digital. Radio's got pictures, which are all over the internet, which have to be taken there. Radio now has got mixing desks.
In South Africa, we've got two main type of radios. It's commercial and there's public radio. Commercial radio exists specifically for commercial value. So that is revenue as well as audience. The public sector, the public broadcasting stations, which is normally referred to as ALS stations or African language stations, they are there from a mandate perspective to educate, entertain the nation. Then we've got your community stations, which you would find a whole lot in different communities around the country. We have retail radio, which is the retail radio, which are the stations sort of that you hear when you go into a store. Now a blossoming of digital radio, which is still in its infancy in South Africa, quite well established in Europe and in the States, but growing very much in the country. And then we've got sort of your different types of radio, commercial hit radio, and so forth and so on. So there's quite a vast amount.
I worked straight into a commercial radio station. I think when you get into radio, you need to prepare yourself that you're getting into a very fast industry. You're getting into an industry where you need to prepare yourself. You need to ask as many questions as you can. Revenue is the culture. It is about making money. I mean, it's running a business. And you must know, there's a mixture of passion and there's a mixture of, you know, you love what you do, you're on radio, there's an on-air part, but this is business. You're talking to people, you're talking to advertisers, so you need to combine the two. And there's people behind the scenes. Those people are your marketers, your PR people, your etc. Those are people like me. And then there's people in the talent, etc., the programmers, and there's the sales people. And you get into a commercial environment and you understand that everyone needs to play a role in making money and making sure that this business survives. So commercial radio station, I found it a blessing because from the onset, it taught me that when you walk through these doors, you need to understand that your salary needs to make sense. So you need to do your job diligently. When you exist here, there's a reason why you're here.
Working in community gave me the confidence I needed over and beyond the talent. Yes, you've got the voice, you've got the personality, but what do you do with all of this? What actually happens before your radio show comes on? There's research that happens. There's a station manager that you need to chat to. There's a programming manager that you chat to. There are your producers that you need to chat to. There's your own research that goes into your 3 hours that you spend on air. So when I got onto commercial eventually, and within like 8 months of having done the course, it wasn't too hard, or it wasn't too much of a headache for the programs manager at Prime Media to say, as long as you are, I'm going to give you a talk radio show for 4 hours and you're going to talk to our audience and you're going to hold them. When you are on air as a talk show personality and host of a program, you come on, you have to almost be an encyclopedia. You have to be your own Google. You have to know so much stuff, which means you are having conversations with a lot of different people for a lot of different reasons.